Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Devon, and today I'm going to share with you how to make the most decadent, rich, creamy dessert full of delicious chocolate goodness. It is so delicious. I cannot wait to share this wonderful, creamy, decadent chocolate pie recipe with you. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to do some blind baking. And if you're not familiar with blind baking, I'm going to explain real quick how to do blind baking. I have my pie crust shell that I've already rolled out and put inside my pie plate. And this is my recipe for flaky pie crust. In the description box below, I'm going to link that information so that way you can make this awesome pie crust as well. So what I've done is I've taken some parchment paper and I've crinkled it in my hand so that way it's easier to mold into the pie shell. I have my beans here, and this is a bag of beans that I use all the time anytime I do my blind baking. And these are just dry beans, about 4 cups that I use for my pie shell. I'm just going to pour them right inside the pie shell, just like that, on top of the parchment paper. And I like to use dried beans because it's going to weigh down the crust so that way it bakes nice, flat, and even, as well as it's easier to just use these beans over and over again. I also did a little overhang on the side of the shell, as you see there, so that way the top of the crust doesn't get too brown. Now our blind baking pie shell has baked just like that at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. And this is important. You always want to blind bake your pie shell so that way when you do any kind of a custard pie filling, the pie on the bottom won't be soggy, the crust won't be soggy. And so you see it's baked up nice, and now it is ready for our filling. So let's get ready to put our pie filling for our chocolate chess pie together. Real simple ingredients. So this is how you do it. We have some flour, some sugar, I have some cocoa powder, some evaporated milk, some salted butter, but this recipe you can use salted or either unsalted butter. I also have some pure vanilla extract and some salt. We're going to start off by putting our sugar into our bowl. Now, in the description box below, I'm also going to put the ingredients to make this decadent, delicious pie. Let me tell you, I think this is like the best chocolate dessert in the world. I'm not kidding. Now, once we have our sugar in our bowl, we're going to add a little bit of flour, and that's just going to help our pie, our chocolate chess pie, just to become just a little bit more thick and exactly like the consistency and the texture that we're looking for. After that, I'm going to put in some salt. And hey y'all, if you are new here, welcome. And if you're a returner, welcome back. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Go on and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, be sure to go on and give us a thumbs up. So now I'm going to use some premium cocoa, and I'm using Dutch processed cocoa. And you want to use Dutch cocoa, you want to use the best cocoa that you can find. I have found that using just a really good quality Dutch cocoa is the best for this pie. Using more of the commercial brands, if you know what I'm talking about, they have a very distinct flavor, and your pie takes on that very distinct flavor from that brand. And I have found it's better just to use a brand that's just a very good cocoa. Okay, and so that's what I would recommend. And this is full of rich chocolate decadent flavor, and so we're using 1/4 cup plus an additional tablespoon. Once you have all your ingredients in your bowl, all the dry ingredients, I'm just going to mix it just like this all the way because I want to make sure everything is blended together. Next, I'm going to put in my butter. Now, my butter is at room temperature, and it's very, very soft. And you want to have your butter very, very soft, so that way it blends in well with your pie filling. Now, as you see, we're just mixing everything right in our bowl. I didn't even need to take out my stand mixer, which is great because the ingredients come together so nicely. Now, once I have my butter, and I'm using 5 tablespoons of very soft salted butter. And again, you can also use unsalted butter if that's what you have. That's no problem at all. Now, once I have that in there, we're going to add in our evaporated milk. And you want to make sure that we are using evaporated milk and not condensed milk, all right? There's a difference. So you want to make sure that you're adding in evaporated milk. It gives this pie that extra nice silky creaminess by adding in that evaporated milk. Then we're going to use some pure vanilla extract. And ingredients with this pie really do matter. So you want to make sure that you're using pure vanilla extract and not imitation vanilla, okay? So once we have that in our bowl, next up we're going to go in and put in our eggs. Now we're going to use 3 large eggs, and my eggs have been sitting on my counter and they're at room temperature. And the reason for that is when the eggs are at room temperature, they mix in better and blend in nicely with all the ingredients. So you don't want to have cold eggs added to such as your pie or cakes. You always want to make sure that they're at room temperature. Now once I have them in my bowl, I'm going to go on and just give them a little beat and just go on and mix them up a bit before adding them into our bowl. Now we can go on and finish blending our ingredients all together. I like to use my wire whisk. My butter is nice and soft at room temperature, so are my eggs, so everything is going to blend up nicely. And you want to make sure that you're dissolving. I like to use the wire whisk because this is going to ensure that I'm going to dissolve that sugar that was in the bottom of the bowl. And you just want to give it a really good stir, just like that, just like I'm doing here. And now once we have everything all nice and blended, we're going to go on and fill our pie crust. Now, remember I did the blind baking with the pie crust, and as I was mixing my ingredients, my pie crust was just cooling slightly. And you do want to make sure that your pie crust cools slightly because you don't want to add your pie filling to a hot crust. You want to make sure that your pie crust has cooled slightly, okay? So we're going to go on and pour in our custard filling, just like that. Get everything nice into the bowl. Now while I'm doing this, my oven has been preheating on 325 degrees, and our pie will bake anywhere from 55 to 65 minutes depending on your oven. So it's going to bake at 325 degrees for about 55 to 65 minutes. When it's going to have a little bit of jiggle when your pie is done. However, when you insert your tester in the middle of your pie, it should come out relatively clean. You don't want to have any pudding looking filling on the end of your tester when you're done. And this is the pie, and actually I'm making 2 pies, guys. This one was for my son's girlfriend, and I made a second pie for our family, and that's the one that I'm going to cut and show you guys today. And so this is our pie with our wonderful flaky pie crust. It has baked up nicely, and let's see what it's looking like. We're going to cut out that first piece. And let's just see, and it smells so good in the kitchen. That warm, delicious chocolate flavor, you can just smell it. Oh, look at the pie, it looks so good. Let me tell you, if you bake this pie for your sweetie, you bake this pie for your family, they are going to be like, wow, this is the ultimate chocolate dessert. Nice, rich, silky filling, full of delicious chocolate goodness. And we were not done. You see how I topped that pie? I topped it with a little bit of whipped cream, and special because we've got Valentine's Day coming up, I put some hearts on it. Just looks so good. Oh my goodness. We have got to cut into this pie and try it. Let's see here. Oh wow. A nice flaky bottom. The pie crust is just cooked perfectly, y'all. It's so silky. So good. Look at that whipped cream just falling all over the place. Oh my goodness. This is so good. Well, I hope y'all give this recipe a try. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go on and hit that subscribe button. It's free. And if you like this video and appreciate the content, be sure to give us a thumbs up. And also with the pie, guys, my recommendation is I do like to put in the refrigerator to let it get a little chilled, and I like to serve it actually chilled, and it is absolutely wonderful. Well, until the next time, and remember, it is always good when Devon is cooking for the family. Bye-bye, everybody.